So if I've got a meeting that goes from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and then I've got a meeting that goes from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and I've got a meeting that goes from 11 o'clock to 12 o'clock, can you explain to me how I'm supposed to be present at each one of those meetings and be engaged and mindful and thinking of it, and yet somehow at 09:59:59 I'm supposed to click my fingers, I'm just meant to disappear and I'm meant to appear the other side of the campus. Wow, I don't know what that was, sorry folks. I shouldn't have had those that extra pie for lunch. Sorry, I quite put myself off. Oh yeah, time travel, that's right. So, yeah, we can't do it. When are we supposed to go for a wee? You know, if our diary's full of meetings, when are we supposed to grab a glass of water? When are we supposed to say hi to our colleagues? I think there's something really interesting that's going on in the world of work that seems to think that we can somehow perform effectively when we're just going meeting. So as kind of the ambassadors, if you like, of culture, one of the things, I mean, this is perhaps a little bit tactical, and I'm not saying it's the right answer, but a lot of meetings we go to are not particularly exciting or interesting. I don't know if that's a revelatory news to a lot of you, but it seems to be the case. One of the ways that we might be able to make them more interesting is make them a little bit shorter. So maybe a way that you could go back to work and say, hey, I've had this great idea how we could be more effective. How's that then? We could make our meetings shorter. Well, how's that going to work? Well, instead of running everything from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, why don't we finish everything on the quarter to hour, let's say. I've just picked a random number. Well, why do we want to do that? Well, because then we can actually be present. We can be thoughtful and mindful in the place where we are, doing the work we're doing, with the people that we're with, investing that time and making it really matter, safe in the knowledge that when the meeting finishes, I've got enough time to go back to my desk, check my email, grab a coffee, say hi to you because I forgot we didn't say good morning earlier on today, and how's the cat and how's the dog and all this kind of stuff and all that sort of stuff that makes work go around. And then I turn up at the next meeting feeling like I'm ready to re-engage and have some useful fun again. And I think the last thing I want to say to you about email particularly is that I think it's a real shame that the button that has send on it doesn't actually have the words abdicate responsibility, because they probably wouldn't fit, I realise that, but that's kind of how I think a lot of people see it, you know, right? So where what you say and what you do are aligned, you get trust, and as we all know, that's really powerful. Where they're not aligned, you get trouble, and quite frankly, that's what you deserve. I think in terms of process, how can I make the process as simple as possible? When I'm engaging with other people, how can I make those rules of engagement as simple as possible? So I've superimposed onto this book cover, use your best judgment, rule number 1. Rule number 2, there won't be any other rules. To your point about adult-to-adult relationships, if I'm going to build a trusting environment, then I've got to come from a place of trust. So when you're engaging with these groups and you're having these conversations, I think it's really important to keep those rules of engagement very simple, keep the language very simple. And when you're talking about stuff, try always be mindful that you're trying to move the conversation towards kind of ownership, a sense of ownership and a sense of action, so that when you walk away from your time together, you've got a good idea about knowing who's going to do what, with whom, and why. Without people, you're nothing, and as he would say, it's time to put the humanity back into the centre. It's time to put people back into the heart of work, not the other way around. Thank you very much for listening.